83 AC is remembered as the year of the Fourth Dornish War, better known among the small folk as Prince Morian's Madness, or the War of the Hundred Candles. The old Prince of Dorne had died, and his son, Morian Martell, had succeeded him in Sunspear. A rash and foolish young man, Prince Morian had long bristled at his father's cowardice during Lord Rogar's wars, when knights of the Seven Kingdoms had marched into the Red Mountains unmolested, whilst the Dornish armies stayed at home and left the Vulture King to his fate. Determined to avenge this stain on Dornish honour, the prince planned his own invasion of the Seven Kingdoms. Though he knew that the Dornish could not hope to prevail against the might that the Iron Throne could muster against him, Prince Morian thought that he might take King Jaehaerys unawares and conquer the Stormlands as far as Storm's End, or at very least Cape Wrath. Rather than attack by way of the Prince's Pass, he planned to come by sea. He would assemble his host at Ghost Hill, and then the Tor, load them onto ships and sail them across the Sea of Dorne to take the Stormlanders by surprise. If he was defeated or driven back, so be it. But before he went, he swore to burn 100 towns and raise 100 castles, so the Stormlanders might know that they could never again march into the Red Mountains with impunity. The madness of this plan can be seen in the fact that there are neither 100 towns nor 100 castles on Cape Wrath, not even close to third that number. Dorne had not boasted any strength at sea since Nymeria burnt the 10,000 ships, but Prince Morian did have gold, and he found willing allies in the pirates of the Stepstones, the Selsals of Myr, and the corsairs of the Pepper Coast. Though it took him the best part of a year, eventually the ships came staggering in, and the prince and his spearmen were loaded aboard. Morian had grown up on the tales of past Dornish glories, and like many young Dornish lords, he had seen the sun-molted bones of the dragon Meraxes at Hellholt, where Queen Rhaenys Targaryen, wife of Aegon the Conqueror, and her dragon were shot down and killed during the First Dornish War. Every ship in his fleet was therefore manned with crossbowmen and equipped with massive scorpions of the sort that had felled Meraxes. If the Targaryens dared to send dragons against him, he would fill the air with bolts and kill them all. Not an awful plan by far, but by far as sound as the prince had thought. But in truth, the folly of Prince Morian's plan cannot be overstated, despite its sound concept. His hopes on taking the Iron Throne unaware were laughable at best. Not only did Jaehaerys have spies in Morian's own court, and friends among some of the shrewder Dornish lords, but the pirates of the Stepstones, the Selsals of Myr, and the corsairs of the Pepper Coast are none of them famed for their discretion. You cannot hide that many ships, and an army the size the Dornish had mustered for the amount of time it took for everyone to muster. A few coins changing hands was all it took. By the time Morian set sail, the king had known of his plans for half a year. Balman Baratheon, Lord of Storm's End, had been made well aware as well, and he was waiting on Cape Wrath to give the Dornishmen a red welcome when they came ashore. He would never have the chance though. Jaehaerys Targaryen and his sons Aemon and Baelon had been waiting as well. And as Morian's fleet beat its way across the Sea of Dorne, the dragons Vermithor, Caraxes and Vhagar fell on them from out of the clouds. Shouts rang out, the Dornish filled the air with scorpion bolts, but firing at a dragon is one thing, killing it is quite another. A few bolts glanced off the scales of the dragons, and one punctured through Vhagar's wing, but none of them found any vulnerable spots, as the dragons swooped and banked, and loosed great blasts of fire. One by one, the ships went up in flame. They were still burning when the sun went down, like 100 candles floating on the sea. Burned bodies would wash up on the shore of Cape Wrath for half a year, but not a single living Dornishman set foot upon the Stormlands. The Fourth Dornish War, in truth, was fought and won in a single day. The pirates, the Selsals, and the corsairs became less troublesome for a time, and Mara Martell became Princess of Dorne. Back in King's Landing, King Jaehaerys and his sons received a riotous welcome. Even Aegon the Conqueror himself had never won a war without losing a single man. Prince Baelon had another cause for celebration as well. His wife, Alyssa, was once again with child. This time, he told his brother Aemond he was praying for a girl. Princess Alyssa was brought to bed again in 84 AC. After a long and difficult labour, she gave Prince Baelon a third son, a boy they named Aegon after the Conqueror. "They call me Baelon the Brave," the prince told his wife at her bedside, "but you are far braver than me. I would sooner fight 100 battles than do what you have just done." Alyssa laughed at that. "You were made for battles, and I was made for this. Viserys, Daemon and Aegon, that's 3. As soon as I am well, let's make another. I want to give you 20 sons, an army of your own." But it was not to be. Alyssa Targaryen had a warrior's heart in a woman's body, and her strength had failed her. She never fully recovered from Aegon's birth, and died within the year, at only 24. Nor did Prince Aegon long survive her. He perished half a year later, still shy of his first birthday. Though shattered by his loss, Baelon took solace in the two strong sons Alyssa had left him, Viserys and Daemon, and never ceased to honour the memory of his sweet lady with the broken nose and the mismatched eyes.